Hi, it's a lot of fun to talk to you today about one of my all time favorite albums to run to, Kendrick Lamar's Damn. Damn was released in 2017 and it won Kendrick Lamar a Grammy Award. It also became the very first non classical or jazz piece of music to be awarded a Pulitzer Prize in music. Kendrick Lamar got some well deserved flowers for this album. I have an intense relationship with music because I listen to it when I run. I run to achieve flow states. So my favorite albums are the ones that help me achieve flow states and help me get a lot out of my time spent there. And Damn is right up there at the top of my list for that. Kendrick Lamar's albums, all of them, make a connection with me. Damn isn't special in that regard, but it is special in the way I connect with it on an emotional level. I'm going to say this next, trying not to sound pretentious. Kendrick Lamar is a poet who raps his poetry. As poetry, his lyrics are amazing. He crafts evocative, insightful, compelling narratives. He also happens to be the best rapper in the world, so that takes his poetry to a whole nother level. The power of Damn, for me, comes both from what Kendrick says and how he says it. Kendrick Lamar has always explored things from different perspectives in his songs. He often writes in the persona of other people, often from viewpoints very unlike his own. For me, on Damn, he explicitly explores different emotional perspectives and with spectacular effect. He really dives even deeper into his own emotions. In fact, he has an entire song about that on Damn. Damn gets called his upbeat album, partly because it has his first number one single on it, and also because he uses a wide variety of song stylings. And yes, Kendrick Lamar definitely flexes here stylistically. Damn has bangers that absolutely crush. It has amazing R&B on it. Damn has my favorite love song on it. It even has trippy psychedelia, which I always appreciate on runs because that helps me with flow states. Kendrick Lamar also makes some scathing political and social assessments on Damn. While his first radio hit is on this album, he isn't mincing any words or holding back about what he sees and how he feels about it. And of course, every song on Damn is performed by the best rapper in the world. The record opens with psychedelia, with the song Blood, which is a brooding song with dark religious themes. Blood is brilliantly moody. Then we get the song DNA. And I often smile when I'm listening to DNA, remembering how this is supposed to be Kendrick's upbeat album, because the song DNA is a full on middle finger to Fox News. I mean, the song starts out by sampling Geraldo Rivera on his Fox News segment following Kendrick's performance of All Right at the BET Awards. And then from there, Kendrick Lamar just starts lighting fires. For example, and I'm not a rapper, so I'm not going to try to rap this, but he says, use a bitch. Your hormones probably switch inside your DNA. Problem is, all that sucker shit inside your DNA. Daddy probably snitched heritage inside your DNA. Backbone don't exist. Born outside a jellyfish, I gauge. Yeah, the next song is kind of a laid back, personal State of the Union address. It's a slice of Kendrick's life. It also foreshadows a standout song to come later when he introduces his cousin Carl Duckworth. Kendrick closes this record by telling Carl's story. The song Element follows and pulls no punches. It's Kendrick Lamar being a badass. To me, Element is a fair warning to people who think he's a commodity, people who might want to leech off of Kendrick, who might want to use him. The next song, Feel, is simply a masterclass in writing and rapping. The entire song is just Kendrick Lamar stating one after another his feelings about a wide array of topics, both personal and societal. Just by talking about how he feels about things, he's able to paint this amazing portrait of himself and his reality. It's my second favorite song on the album and one of his best overall. The song Loyalty is after that, and this is a really cool song. First of all, Kendrick's joined by Rihanna. Now, Kendrick does some singing with her, and she does some rapping with him. It plays out like some really good old school R&B, and it's got some pockets of psychedelia for good measure. Multiple listens have helped me appreciate Loyalty as a pretty brilliant song. The next song, Pride, is absolutely amazing. Here, we get the first of two of what I would call songs that Prince might have made at the very peak of his powers. If, of course, Prince had been the best rapper in the world. Pride is a psychedelic R&B song. Hendrix does this trippy effect with his voice during verses, making his pitch rise and fall. The whole song is a true standout on this stacked album. Then we get the song Humble, which you've probably heard even if you haven't listened to Damn yet. Humble was Kendrick's first number one single on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. If you want to shake, pop, nod, clap, bounce to music, try not to do that while you listen to Humble. On this song, Kendrick raps, "Bitch, be humble, sit down." And to me, what he's saying to other rappers is sit down, kid, and listen to a master do this. The song Lust follows up perfectly. This song is the second one that's like something Prince might have made at the height of his powers. This one could have come straight off of his album Dirty Mind. Lust is simply a nasty, and I mean that in a good way, funky, psychedelic R&B song. I love running to it. Then we come to my favorite song on the album and my favorite love song, period. It's called Love featuring Zakari. Now, if I had to pick one song to dance with my wife to in front of the whole world to exemplify our bond, our love, our relationship, it would be this one. As far as I'm concerned, Kendrick hits the nail on the head here. For example, and once again, I'm not a rapper, but I absolutely love how he says, keep it 100. I'd rather you trust me than to love me. Keep it a whole 100. Don't got you. I got nothing. And then he says, knock it out twice. I'm with it. Only for the night. I'm kidding. Only for life. Yeah. Homie for life. That's how I feel about her. And it's very inspiring to hear Kendrick talk about his relationship this way. It's simply a beautifully done song. The next song, XXX, is really interesting. It starts out kind of industrial, then in the middle, it explodes. Kendrick goes really hard. And this is another time that you're going to want to nod, bop, jump, move your body. And then near the final act, U2 comes in. U2 and Bono. When I was a teenager in the 80s, they were the cultural icons. They spoke about societal issues for my generation. Nobody had a bigger voice than Bono and U2. So it's really cool and especially interesting for me to see that in 2017, Kendrick Lamar had rightfully become such an icon that on this song, he's lending his fame to U2 by allowing them to appear. And then Kendrick finishes up XXX with just a brutal assessment of his reality. A wild song, Fear, follows. Fear is a psychedelic rap song. It's actually constructed around a very sincere voicemail that someone left Kendrick about turning to God. It's a really trippy song. Kendrick raps backwards on part of it. And then Fear ends in this really painful soliloquy. The next to the last song on the album, God, is really cool. First of all, it foreshadows some more explicit discussion that Kendrick Lamar will share with us about God on his next album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Here on this song, he paints this personal connection with God on an emotional level. He's empathizing with God, and it's just a really cool song. And then the album ends with the song Duckworth, which is his cousin's story. It's a banger, but it's entirely pain centered. And it's one of the best songs on the record. It even ends with some more psychedelia. I love all the attention to detail lyrically and musically on Damn. The light touches of psychedelia, for example, are great and always appreciated on my runs. I do want to address on Damn that between songs, sometimes we hear someone yelling about Kung Fu Kenny. Kung Fu Kenny is an alter ego that Kendrick Lamar created for this album. It's based on a character that Don Cheadle played in Rush Hour 2. For a long time, I always thought it was KRS-One yelling Kung Fu Kenny because it sounds like him. Now, I recently learned that it's actually Kid Capri, but when I'm running and I hear that yelled, I still think of it as KRS-One doing it because, to be frank, I think KRS-One is a good choice for somebody who is passing the baton to Kendrick Lamar as the best rapper in the world. I have tripped out and gotten into flow states running to every song on Damn. They have all helped me not only get into flow states, but get a lot out of my time that I spend there. They're very evocative, they're rich lyrically, they're dense musically. They really take me to places. And Damn's power to do that hasn't diminished at all over time, despite hours and hours of listening. For that reason, I still love to listen to Damn. I still always get a lot out of it, and I highly recommend it to you as one of my all time favorite albums.